Welcome back to my Site Code Diaries, your ultimate guide to digital experience excellence, your go-to channel for all the things in site code, .NET and any DXP related technology. I'm your host Jitendra Jayanta Ghanekar. I'm in Site Code Technology MVP 2024 and 2025. You're watching a video from the video series React Fundamentals and Beyond, and today we are going to talk about event handling. So we are going to see a 10 key insights on React event handling. So this video is divided into 3 parts. In the first part we will understand the 10 concept of insight or 10 insights of the React event handling. In the second half we will see one simple demo of events, React events. And at the end we are starting the new part in every videos now, that we are going to see, or we are going to do a walkthrough of a few interview questions related to the topic. So today we are going to see some interview questions related to event handling. So I'm sure you will like this video. So please click on a like button and do share this video with your friends and colleagues who want to learn the React. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe to the channel and click on notification bell to get latest update. So let's start today's topic.
What is an event? First, let's understand what an event is. An event is any action that a user or a browser performs, such as clicking a button, hovering over an element, or pressing a key. These events are essential in making web applications interactive. Now, what is event handling? Now that we know what an event is, let's discuss the event handling. Event handling refers to the process of detecting and responding to the user interactions. In React, we define event handlers that execute specific function when an event occurs. We have a basic React component named basic event handling. Inside this component we define handle click. So this handle click function that shows an alert message box when button is clicked. In the return statement, if you see here this return statement, we have a button element in which on the click of on click we are calling handle click. So basically this function gets called, and once if you click on the button, the alert button click event handling in the React works, that message will come. So this is a fundamental way to handle events in the React, making your web application more dynamic and responsive. If we summarize, events are user interactions like clicks and key presses. Event handling in React allow us to respond to this interaction efficiently. In the future slides, we are going to explore 10 key insights about event handling. Now we will go through 10 key insights about event handling in React. The first is event naming follows CamelCase. So in React, event handler names follows the CamelCase convention. For example, instead of writing on click in a lowercase, which we do in the plain HTML, we write on click with an uppercase. You see here, on click C is a capital. So that's how we write the events in the React. So event naming follows CamelCase. This applies to all the event names such as on mouse over or on key down. Wherever we are using it, we should be doing it with a CamelCase. The second point is event handling uses JSX. So React uses a JSX for defining UI elements, and event handlers are assigned directly as attribute within the JSS. In traditional JavaScript, where we use a add event listener, but in React we simply attach event handler as a properties, making the code cleaner and more readable. So if you take an example here, you see here we are directly attaching the event here on click as a property. If you see this style of writing, how we are writing it, okay, open curly brackets, closing curly bracket. That is your JSX way of writing. Third point is inline versus external event handler. So there are two ways to handle events in the React. First is the external function and the another one is the inline function. So what is the external function? We define the event handler separately and pass it as a reference to the event. So if you take an example here, this is the external event. See, a external function. It's an on click and you have a handle click. It's a reference which you are passing and you are written the handle click event separately here. Okay, so this is how the external function work. The another way is the inline function. We define the functions directly inside the JSX. So let's see this example here. Where there is no event outside the defined. It is inline console.click click. Okay, so both these approaches are valid, but external functions improve the reusability and readability. So if you have a lot of logic, it will be difficult to do it in the single line. So that time we can use the external event handlers, external functions. And for the simple tasks, we can use the inline functions. So the fourth point is passing arguments to event handler. Sometimes we need to pass argument to an event handler. So if you see our example here, this handle click, we are passing a parameter here, argument here, message. Okay, if you see hello, you click the button, that is your message which is passed as a parameter. So this technique is useful when working with a dynamic content. The fifth point is supports keyboard and mouse events. So React supports various types of events including keyboard event like on key press, on key down and on key up, as well as mouse events like on click, on double click, on mouse over. So this kind of event which is supports the keyboard and mouse event. This make it easy to handle different types of user interaction efficiently. Now, sixth point, let's talk about the synthetic events in React. This is an important concept that helps React handles events efficiently across the different browsers. So what exactly are synthetic events and why should we care about them? In React, events are not handled using native browser events. Instead, React wraps them inside a synthetic event object. This abstraction ensures that event handling works consistently across different browsers. For example, rather than using a JavaScript add listener, React provides a built-in way to handle events using JSX attributes like onClick. One common mistake developer makes is manually attaching event listener using document.getElementById. While this works in a plain JavaScript, React approach is different. Since React manages event delegation efficiently, we should avoid adding event listener manually. And another key point here is synthetic events are pulled. Now what is synthetic events are pulled, that we will see in next slide. But this means React ensures reuse of event objects to optimize the performance. So it is reutilize the event object so that the performance will get optimized. So as we speak, as I discussed that when you use a JavaScript, you generally use the event listener, add event listener and get element by ID. Okay, and then from this ID you are attaching the event listener to click event is attached here. Okay, this is how you do it in JavaScript, but React uses a synthetic event. So this is a synthetic event which is actually a wrapping up a event inside a synthetic event object. Okay, so if you see here example of a synthetic event, so if you see button on click, handle click, okay, and then you are directly referring it and the handle click is showing the alert button. Okay, so this is the difference here. If you see in the JavaScript we are using add event listener, here we are not using it. Okay, so there are two key point here, two key benefits we get from this by using a synthetic events. First is the browser compatibility. So as React is wrapping up the event inside a synthetic object. It is not a browser dependent. So React event systems works the same way across all the browser, avoiding the inconsistency. And second is the performance. So React batches event handling and optimize the performance by reusing the event objects. So this benefit ensures a smooth and efficient event handling mechanism in the React application. Event object pooling. So what is event pooling? In React, event pooling is a technique where the synthetic event object is reused instead of creating a new event object for every event. This helps optimizing the memory uses and performance. So why does React use event pooling? React uses an event object to prevent an unnecessary memory consumption. So event pooling optimizes memory uses by reusing the event objects. Once the event handler executes, event properties reset immediately to prepare for the next event. But there is a catch. If you need to use the event object later, for example, inside a set timeout or an asynchronous function, so you must use event.persist. Otherwise, the event will be cleared by React event pooling system, leading to the unexpected null values. So let's take an example here. So if you see here, we have a simple React component that listens for a button click. Inside a handle click event, we have a set timeout and we are writing console.log event type, and we are setting a message event type is equal to whatever the event type. So now if you are using like this, it won't work, okay, because it will reuse the event again, and then the value will be cleared. So to use this, to work this asynchronously, you have to add event.persist. Okay, this will help you to execute this function correctly, because this event.persist will stop clearing the object. Okay, so this is an example of a event object pooling. Now let's see prevent a default behavior. So what is prevent default? So prevent default stops the default action of an event. For example, if you have a form, so preventing a form from submitting when button is clicked is the stopping the default action. It is commonly used in a forms to prevent the default submission. Links where to stop the navigation. Key events like blocking certain key press event. In these use cases, we generally use the prevent default behavior. To modify event flow, use a event.preventDefault, event.preventDefault inside a event handler. This is useful for the custom form validations, control form submission, and interactive UI element. If you take an example here, the handle key down, this function, okay, it listens for a key events like on key down here. Okay, if the user enter the key as a enter, I mean he pressed the enter, then the event.preventDefault stopping the processing the event. So it is being if you click on an enter key, it will give you an alert as enter key is disabled. So you are preventing the function here. The ninth point is event delegation is less needed. So in JavaScript, event delegation is a technique where a single event listener is added to a parent element instead of individual child element. This improves the performance. The React optimized events handling using the synthetic event and the virtual DOM typing. So virtual DOM typing is basically React updates only the necessary part of the DOM, reducing the need of the manual delegation. So this is an example. Here a button list is managed using a state clicking any button, trigger an alert, but each button had its own event listener. React synthetic event handler this does efficiently without needing a manual event delegation. So in React you don't need a event delegation. Now let's see the last point, the 10th point, event bubbling and capturing. When an event occurs on an element, it moves through the DOM in two phases. First is the event capturing, that is trickling down phase. The event start at the top root and trickles down to the target element. So whatever your target, so it start from the tree structure, it start from the root or a top to the target element. This happens when we use on-click capture event in React. And the second event is a second phase is the event bubbling, that is propagation up phase. After reaching the target element, the event bubble up to the root. It goes up. So this is the default behavior when we use on-click in React. So this is an example. A child button inside a parent div. So if you see here, this is the child button and this is the parent div. You have a parent button, your div here. Normally clicking the button first triggers the button events and then parent events. Using the event.stop propagation, we can prevent the parent's event from firing. So event capturing is useful when we want to parent elements to handle events before the child, and in the React we can achieve this by on-click capture instead of a on-click. So in this example, the first thing, that parent div has both on-click and on-click capture. Child button has an on-click that allows the child button click, and how the data will be displayed. The first it will display the capturing event. So if you see here capture event, this is where on-click capture, capturing parent div click first. Okay, then it will show you the child button click. So it will reach to the child. Okay, first thing, event capturing, it will propagate down and it will reach to the target. So as you are clicking on the button, so your target element is a button, so it will reach to the button event, that is child button click, and then it propagate up. So up is your parent, and that parent is on click is handle parent click. So it will then call parent div click. Okay, now if you want to stop the propagation, like you don't want that parent handle parent click event to get called when you click on the button, the child button, then if you see here event.stop propagation, that you have to uncomment here. So when you put event.stop propagation, it will stop propagating to the top. Okay, so this is very important. So how the event capturing and event bubbling are the two phases. Okay, event capturing goes from top to bottom, event bubbling goes from target element to up. So understanding the event capturing and bubbling help us to control event handling in the React efficiently. You can use a event.stop propagation to prevent a event bubbling, and you can use a on-click capture when you need to the parent to handle the event before the child. Now let's have a demo of a simple event function. So in our previous example, okay, on the contact.js, I have added a 3 buttons. Okay, so first button is this. This is the simple event. Okay, handle click event. This is the second button, which is synthetic event, and at the last we have added the event with the arguments. So to run this, what I will do is, first of all, we need to start the mock API. So I will just run this command. If you have not seen how the mock API works, you can have a look on our another video. I will give that in the description as well as on the top, or if you are following the playlist, it will be there. So now the mock API has started. I will just start the application now. Okay, application is started. We'll go to contact us. So if you see here, three buttons are there. Click me, uh, basic event, synthetic event, and synthetic event passing argument. If I click on this, it will say thank you for reaching out. If I click on this, just observe here synthetic event triggered, and you will see here event type is equal to click. So it is got the event also in that object. And if you put the click event, it is saying the synthetic event trigger message is giving thank you for reaching out, event type is click. Now let's see the code here. Okay, if you see the simple basic method here, it's just an alert. Okay, if you see a synthetic event, we are passing event here, and event values are getting here. So event dot type you are seeing, right? So if you write event dot type, it is giving that this is a click event. So everything is there in that event object. It is telling you what is there in the event object. Okay, and that is, if you see, the we are calling the same way. And the third thing is a handle click event. What we are doing is here we are passing the event object plus comma. Okay, we are giving a second object also, message. Okay, so we are trying to give the message from the function itself. Okay, so event.preventDefault we are used, so we can handle the event handling, and this is a trigger where you are showing the message also and event type also. And how it is called, if you see on click event, we are using a arrow function here. Handle click with argument is our function. We are passing the event and we are passing the message here. Okay, so once you click on this, like here, if you are clicking on this, you are seeing thank you for reaching out, and event type is a click. Okay, so it's a simple example of the event. Even there are few examples which I have seen in the, when we have seen the 10 key insights, there also I have given you example. All right, so we have done the demo. Now we are starting a new section in the our video series. So this is the interview question series. So what we are going to do is we are going to answer few of the most asked interview questions related to the topic. So today we have seen the topic event handling in React. So we are going to answer few of the interview questions related to it. Okay, so first question, what is synthetic event in React? So we already seen the synthetic events. So synthetic events are React's cross-browser wrapper around the browser native events. So synthetic event ensures a consistent behavior across the different browser. The second question is, how do you handle an event in the React? We can handle event in React by passing a function as a prop to an element. Third question, what are the best practices for handling events in React? Some best practices include using arrow functions for binding, avoiding inline functions for performance reason, and cleaning up event listener when components unmount. So first is the using the arrow function, second is avoiding the inline functions, third is the cleaning up the event listener event when your component is unmount. Next question is, how do you prevent default behavior in the React events? So we have seen that in example also. So we use event.preventDefault within the event handler. The next question is, what is event delegation and how does React handle it? So event delegation is a technique where a single event listener is added to a parent element to handle events for its child elements. React uses event delegation internally to improve the performance. Next question, what is the order of execution for event listener in the capturing and bubbling phases? So this we have seen at the last. So during the capturing phase, parent listener are triggered first, moving down to the target. In the bubbling phase, it goes opposite way. So the target listener execute first, follows its ancestor. So first you call the element, then the your parent when we are going bubbling up. Okay. How do you stop event propagation in React? Okay, what is event propagation? That also we have seen. So you can use event.stop propagation method to prevent the event from bubbling up or propagating further. Now, how do you handle events in functional components using hooks? So the use state and use effect hooks to manage the side effect and related to the event. So we use the use state and use effect to manage state and side effects related to the events. How do you pass arguments to event handlers in the React? You can pass arguments by wrapping the event handler in an arrow function or using the bind method. Okay, so you can pass the argument by wrapping the event handler in an arrow function or using a bind. How to access event properties asynchronously? Synthetic events are pulled. What do you mean by pull? That we have seen that the events are getting cleared up. Okay, so the event object is getting cleared up. So you do not want to clear that event in the asynchronous method. So in that case, you have to use event.persist before using the asynchronously. What is the default behavior of an event in React bubbling or capturing? By default, React event handlers listen during the bubbling phase. Alright, that's a wrap up for today. I am sure you must have liked this video. So please click on a like button to share this video with your friends and colleagues. Let me know your feedback, your question via the comment section. Also, you can provide me the topics which you would like me to cover in this video series. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel and click on notification bell to get latest update from my site code diaries. Alright, I will meet you in the next week in next episode. Thank you for watching. Happy coding.